Hello, thanks for dropping in. I'm still in the midst of the same Monopoly game. And of course everybody's running out of money, but mostly I'm here to hear the sound. Do I wish to buy this? Sure, I'll buy this. The game is not going on for much longer. Yes, we can end on this. Wait for it. Isn't it magical? I'll roll just one more time. Advance to go. Collect 200 pounds. Cool. We're going to try and roll doubles to get out of jail. We did not. Now we'll roll. That was player 2. Player 1. Do I wish? Yeah, sure. I will buy things. I will try to roll doubles. I did not roll doubles. Love that too. I owe 50. I will roll. I will try and roll doubles. I did not. So now I pay. And away I go. What do I get? I owe $16. 16 pounds, 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 pounds. I owe 18 pounds. Oh, there's an error there. No wonder I was saying dollars. Because it does not. Let's see what happens here. Do I owe? I owe nothing, because I own this. There is an error. The pound sign and the dollar sign have not run away. Let's see what happens here. Yes, I will buy that. Let's just get to one more thing here. Bank error. Oh, good. 200 pounds. Good. I've got to get to something that somebody doesn't own. Do I own this? Oh, I love that sound too. No, I own this. Ugh. I got 150 pounds. Please let me just land on something that I don't own, that I owe money to. Collect 2. Okay. Not the tax. Aha! Income tax. Pay $200. Error, error, error. It should be pounds. It should be pounds. Otherwise, there should be a whole big conversion thing in there. There. I have found the error. Somewhere in there. Maybe I should go through and look for all the dollar signs. Aha, I owe $12, not pounds. There's an error, error, error. Anyway, enough. I need to turn this off. I can turn this off. And then get this out of the way. Now, it has been a while since I have messed with this circuit board. it has. So, oh, dust. God, I need a leaf blower. So, I'm going to take the board. This is the circuit board that has no sound. First, I'm going to take it out, set it over here. And I'm going to take this one, which is, from what I can tell, pretty much identical. And I'm going to put it in. Make sure the power switch is off. And I will plug things in. And I will just make sure keyboard slightly yellowed. Okay, slightly dirty. Right, so now, when I turn this one on, it should come up. It should be beautiful. I need the disk drive on. Right, seems good. Now I will load quote dollar sign, quote asterisk quote comma 8, which supposedly mostly will load the first program. I will type in run, and I will go for number 7, which is Monopole, but not the British version. Perhaps I will go in and fix the British version. Perhaps. I suspect it's all in basic. I have an itch. Anyway, the whole reason I'm doing this is just to make sure that this still sounds good and the SID chip is good and all is well and good before I do the swap. That is the idea. Of course, the 1541 is as speedy as ever. Speedy. Always so speedy. But, you know. Oh, do we want? Yes. Yes. Now, all we want to do here is hear sound. And do we hear sound? We do. Player 1 starts. We will do this. Let's see if he goes to jail. Well, this is going to be expensive. Anyway, yeah, so here we have the sound. Is there sound for free parking? There is not, but he wins $500, not pounds. Okay, we're not going to carry on with this, because we don't have to. We just wanted to make sure that something I already knew, that the SID chip in this machine was working. And I suspect that after I gently pry it out, very gently, there's the SID chip, and then disconnect, we are going to find the good circuit board. And here is the mostly good circuit board. And here goes. Hello. Come on. There we go. I think I bent one pin a little bit. But anyway, there is the bad SID chip. Here is the good one. Always make sure you have the pins lined up. You have the witness mark lined up. Everything is just tickety-boo. And, oh yes, power. Is this turned on? It is not. Okay. Alright. Let's see here. Plug in the monitor, the power, the serial cable. We turn it on. So remember, this is the board with no sound. Now, I know I now have a good SID chip in there. I know it. Does that mean it's going to work? I think so. That is, of course, the thing with these things. I'm going to go for number 8. What the heck? Because I believe this is the problem. But if there's still no sound, and I cannot imagine why there would not be, I cannot imagine what would cause that. But still, we got to check. So yes, I have to slowly, methodically go through and figure what there is to figure. One step at a time. And we wait for the 1541-2 to very peacefully and restfully and quietly and slowly load the program. I think it was 98 blocks. That's a pretty big program. Pretty big. I'm ready to quickly get this into position. Yes. Yes, we want the auction rule. Yes, we want the free parking option. It is now going to set up, and soon we will hear that it makes sound. And I will know for sure that this SID chip is bad. And that is what we knew. So we will roll. We hear sound where there was no sound before. So there. Oh, here comes the train. Life is good. Do we want to buy it? Yes. Alright. So, what do we know? Well, I had this rather dusty, dirty Commodore 64. I've blown a lot of the dust and the dirt out, but not everything. I'm sure it could use a bath, but I'm not doing that. And I don't have a handy can of spray, and I don't have a little compressor handy either. Anyway, from what I can tell, it's okay. I still would like to run some more diagnostic-y things. Certainly it works with the disk drive, good sign. The keyboard seems okay, although, it's a little yellowed. But the big thing was, there was no sound. Which sadly means a bad SID chip. And SID chips, they're expensive. They are. So, now, I suppose what I really need to do then I will gracefully, with great care, remove the good SID shell. And I will put it back from whence it came. Once again, being very careful to line up the pins, and in she goes. Now, what am I going to do with this? You know what? I'm going to put it back in here. Because I know I will not lose it or mix it up with anything. I will not. Yes, here is the shield. One thing I did like about as things went on, the shields took on, like the first shields in the Commodore 64 with this cardboard paper crap. I did not like them. And of course they just made things get hot, but then after a while, the shields grew fingers. Now where? Now this is always challenging, and that is putting the board back together. And also, okay, so there are some screws. There's the two for the top. Now looking at these, oh, they're different sizes. So how many different sizes do we have? Well, it looks like 4 and 3. So that means that the 4, I'm thinking, I did not notice they were different, just slightly different, would be for the back. And of course the hardest thing is, with some of these, is to actually get them into the holes. That didn't go well. The ones that you can see, well, you can see them all, but the ones you can actually get sort of a finger on, like I can stick them on the end of the screwdriver, oops, but as soon as they fall over, I'm doomed. Now let's just see here. Oh. So they're not exactly, well, I'm sure they'll be fine. Well, I need to turn this around. To get a good look at the hole. Now if you notice, inside this case are the holes to secure this machine. Or sorry, a big circuit board in here. They are. Because, you know, when they were building them, this is always a tough one, and they were replacing boards and sending them out, a big or a little board could end up in here. Okay, so give these a little, one last little turn. And also we'll dump this one out because I didn't get it in. So line it up as best I can, and it falls. And I line it up as best I can, and it will fall again. That is not working. And this is not demagnetized. Although it will hold on. No, it will not hold on. Sometimes it will hold on. Sometimes it will not. So, the last last screw, and this is where I really can't, I can't get my finger in there, so I'm going to take this other screwdriver, this tiny little one, and try to get this screw to stand up and go in. And it's not doing it. Now I believe maybe this might be a little magnetized, which of course is probably not a good thing to be using around this. And it won't screw it in, but I suspect I can get it in the hole. Oh dear, don't you know I'm on the air? So, there we go. We'll give everything just a little tightening where we don't want to hurt anything, just want them firm. So we are getting there. How does that feel? Oh, you know what? That feels like it could use a little more. Well, I guess it's okay. Okay, so now we have the keyboard. Oops. Got to plug the keyboard in for securing it. Get it in. It is in. It is in position. Then, of course, this is the time we need the two screws. They have a fine thread, these screws, and they are Phillips. Alrighty. So we'll get this. What? Where is the? There is the hole. Okay, and now that is good. And then remember, look at the long cable. This would have been fine for the other style of circuit board. But we don't have that, so it's 3, down. Make sure the cable stays inside. Oops. It's, oh yeah, I see. You just gotta line it all up. Squeeze it together. Knowing that perhaps if it's making big popping noises, it's plastic breaking. And this machine could definitely use a little tidying up with, yes, a magic eraser. Alright, so back to the torque screws. Now the other thing, of course, that needs doing here is I need to make notes so I know that indeed the SID chip is bad. So, where? There it is. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. works, but SID bad. Tested with good SID December 2021. Needs cleaning. Alright. But overall, not a bad machine. Excuse me. There it is. Okay. There is some tape. So there. One Commodore 64C. Small board, Super PLA. Bad SID. Otherwise, looking good. So we'll set that there. This board I will very carefully take care of because it is lovely, very lovely, and it has a working SID, and it's all good. Alright, so another 64 in the door, checked out, sorted out, figured out. And that is about all I have to say about that today. So, thank you for coming. I guess one of the messages I have in doing all this is to say that, you know, just be calm and be careful. Take your time. Make sure that if you're taking chips out and in out of sockets, you actually get them between the chip and the socket, not the socket and the board. I've done that once. Not fun. You know, just take your time. But once again, if you're not comfortable doing any of this, don't do it. Don't do it. But if you are comfortable, or if watching any of this helps make you comfortable, like if you have a working 64 and you have one that doesn't, and there's a lot of sockets, nothing wrong with doing a little chip swapping. Be careful. Mind the pins. Make sure the machine is turned off when you're pulling chips out. Make sure, especially on the 64, there are different versions of the board where the PLA and the SID chip switch places. And if you put the wrong one in the wrong place, that can be bad. Just take your time and methodically go through and isolate the problem. Don't make more problems. And if you're rushed or hurried, don't do it. Like if you have a time limit, like I gotta be out the door in 10 minutes, don't start taking something apart. Walk away. Come back later. When you have time, and sometimes of course if you're working on something and you're just getting frustrating, walk away. And I guess the other thing I could say is that only do one thing at a time. Like if you've got a whole machine full of chips to swap, don't do them all and then turn it back on. One at a time. Very methodically. Take your time. Try and isolate. And once you find one bad chip, it doesn't mean that's the end. There may be more. There may not be. Just take your time. Be calm. Be patient. And hopefully, at the end of the day, if you're checking out a 64, or whatever you're checking out, you end up, even if you don't have an extra, like right handy, I don't have an extra SID chip right handy. I know somewhere I do. So I will replace it in there at some point. But not at this moment. But I know that say I didn't have another SID chip, that then I would at least know what I needed. And if I was going to sell this, I could at least say, works great, needs a new SID chip, so that at least they would know. Or maybe I would go into the online world and find a SID chip. And I know they're expensive, but, you know, if you're going to be playing games, if you're not playing games, it really doesn't matter. Like the odd beep doesn't matter. But if you're playing games, you got to have the sound. You just got to have the sound. You do. Anyway, thanks again. If you, I hope everybody got a chance to go to the World of Commodore show, either virtually or in person. I'm sure the in-person component was worthy. I did not go. I'm hoping for next year, which would be December of 2022. The online part was quite interesting, and it can be seen on YouTube if you search for TPUG World of Commodore. I think it's about between 7 and 8 hours long, and it has some very interesting interviews and presentations from people who were there. They lived it, they know it, they were part of it. The good, the bad, the jack attacks, and the ugly. And you know, more and more I hear of it, I really think that if Jack Jamil had not left Commodore, that Commodore might still be a going enterprise with smartphones and all kinds of things, really, you know, sticking it to Apple like they used to do. And I suspect at the helm would be one of Jack Jamil's sons, and perhaps all three of them would be involved, but still, things would be happening. They would. As they say, sometimes it takes money to make money. And given the resources, you know, there was still lots of great stuff coming out of Commodore until they gutted the research and development. Oh dear, oh me, oh my. Oh well, water under the bridge, all history. And yes, some of us are still living in an 8-bit world. So be it. Anyway, until we meet again, thanks for coming. Stay tuned. Many, many more videos to come.